What's going on, guys? The weather is finally warm and it's time to begin getting our cars ready for the summer. For all my detailed jobs, I've always used Duragloss and Meguiar brands, and this time I decided to try out Chemical Guys on my own car. Now, I didn't intend on buying this kit and only went to the store to buy a bucket with a grit guard, but ended up walking out with this, so I figured, you know what, let's give the Chemical Guys a try. So in this kit there are 7 items, although they say 8. I don't count the lid on the bucket as an item. What we have in the bucket is a grit guard, the bucket itself, your wash mitt, a nice Chemical Guys hat, and then we have our Mr. Pink soap, the Diablo wheel cleaner, and vinyl and plastic dressing. Alright guys, so what we're going to do now is we're going to hose the car down using the power washer and try and get all the dirt and grime that is larger in size off before we actually apply our soap. So typically I like to do this for any time I do wash the car, just a little pre-rinse, a pre-soak, and that helps out quite a bit. At the end of the day, you want to reduce as much dirt as possible that's baked onto the surface of your car, because ultimately that can assist in creating additional swirl marks, and obviously you don't want that in your paint because it won't have that glassy feel and that high quality detailed job look. And our next step is to use the Diablo wheel cleaner on our wheels. Now what this is going to do is remove brake dust, and in addition to that we're going to be using our wheel cleaning brush. So go ahead and spray your rims down, get a nice even coat, and you're going to want to let it sit for just a few minutes. Go ahead and do the back as well. Make sure you get that spray in all the nooks and crannies, and then once it's sat for a little bit, go ahead and use your wheel cleaning brush and just agitate all the dirt that's in there. One thing I noticed off the bat, the dirt and the brake dust was coming off really easily, and I quite enjoyed that. I usually use Iron X as my wheel cleaner. The only issue with that is it's a super harsh chemical. Once you spray it, it will turn colors, which means it's actually working. It'll go from clear liquid to a purple liquid, but it smells horrible, and you can smell it so far away, to the point where you should probably be wearing a respirator while using it. Now with the Diablo cleaner, it seems to be working just as well, except it smells amazing. It's got like a cherry fruit smell to it, so I quite enjoy that, and I'll give this a thumbs up for sure. So just make sure you agitate everything with the brush, and then once that's done, go ahead and hose it down. Now this is our final result. As you can see, rims looking pretty clean to me. It did remove a lot of brake dust. Just do the swipe test here. No black grime on the finger. That's an A+. That's what you want. Now once this is done, once the car is detailed and dry again from the soap application, we'll go ahead and clean these rims once over. Now is time to use our soap cannon or foam cannon, and we're going to be using the Mr. Pink, so all you need is about a cap full of soap. Now I don't have my actual good foam cannon with me. I may have broken that recently, so I am using a little budget one from Walmart, $12, and it works actually quite well. So we're going to go ahead and start the power washer up and start soaking this thing down. Alright, so what I like to do is actually start from the roof and work my way down. And by pre-soaking or pre-foaming your car using Mr. Pink soap, what's going to happen is that soap's going to act as a lubricant and lift the dirt off your paint, which will make it easier and actually help reduce swirl marks when you actually take your wash mitt to the car. So just make sure you get a nice even coverage. Now as you can see, the soap has stayed on for quite a while. It's running nicely, it's not too liquidy. I typically prefer a bit more suds than what you see here, but that is the result of the little foam gun that we're using right now. So the next step, go ahead and fill up the Chemical Guys bucket. Comes with a grit guard, which is awesome because that will help trap any dirt particles that come back into the bucket when you rinse your wash mitt. Now I typically like to use a 2-bucket approach, so 1 bucket with soap, 1 with clean water in it, and the second bucket is your rinse bucket. So the goal is to ensure that you never have any contaminant within your wash mitt, because that will ultimately result in more swirling or even scuffs or scratches to the paint. So in this case, because I don't have the second bucket, I'm just going to use the hose and rinse off the mitt once I'm done with it. So the key here in limiting swirl marks and actually tricking the eye is to wash using your wash mitt in a motion that goes with your body lines on the car. And then in addition to that, always start with your main panels first. So I'll do the door panels, the hood, then the pillars, followed by the roof, and then focus on the areas of the car that typically have more grime and dirt buildup. So those are your rocker panels, as well as the front bumper of the car, which will be baked typically with dead bugs and other road debris. Now once you're done all the painted surfaces, you can go ahead and give the windows a good wipe down. Depending on the size of the car, this is a super small car, so I just need 1 mitt. But if it's like a larger SUV, I'll go for 2 or 3 mitts just to reduce the amount of dirt or grime that could potentially be built up within that mitt. And there we had it. Just a few minutes and we had the whole car wiped down. Now what we're going to do, put the power washer away. All we need is our hose with our nozzle on there just to rinse all the soap and loose grime off the paint. And as you can see, it is coming out really well, has a good shine to it. And I will say this is pretty comparable to the more expensive Duragloss. Not as glossy, but still really good quality for what you're paying for. Now make sure to get all the soap off. The last thing you want is soap sitting on your paint and then having the hot sun bake it in. That will ultimately result in kind of like a soapy stain, and then you'll have to use a quick detailer to get it off. Alright, so now we're going to be using the Silk Shine, and this is the rubber, plastic, and vinyl dressing. Now when it comes to this, I've tried so many products out there and have never had luck. Only luck I had was with Aerospace 303. So what you want to do is just soak up or spray an applicator pad. I would not spray directly onto the car using the bottle itself because you'll end up hitting the paint. And just take a nice amount of it and brush over all of your rubber, plastic, and vinyl surfaces. What this is supposed to do is add some, call it moisture, back to these surfaces. They are porous, so they will take it in, and then also protect it from the sun. UV really damages these plastics, especially on this car. They're matte plastics, and when they're dressed, they look really, really good. So here we have it, guys. The car looks amazing. Don't mind the hood. It's a little discolored there, but that's because of some vinyl that actually ate through the clear coat. But aside from that, the car looks awesome. The soap worked really well. We have a good shine to it, minimal swirl marks, just a few imperfections in the paint. Now the dressing for the vinyl did not come out as well as I would like it to be, so I'm probably going to stick to the Aerospace 303. But here we have a nice look at the back. No wax, that's just a rinse and wash. And look how good that looks. That back bumper, the black down there, is usually super faded, and I will say the Silk and Shine worked really well on that, not necessarily the door pillars. So we'll have to do some further experimenting, but for the time being, I think I'm going to stick to my Aerospace 303. And as you can see there, it's a little blotchy, so it may need an additional coat. It could have been just because the plastic was just so faded. It's just going to need some more of this dressing to soak in. But other than that, super happy with this product. It was cheap. I will probably use it as my backup. The Mr. Pink soap I will actually use in my daily arsenal here, but at the end of the day, I'm happy. Highly recommend it. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to help you out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.